Yesterday we finally got a new Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer, and the trailer showed off some phenomenal things such as the classic kingdoms. However, that wasn't the only thing it showed, and today that's going to be what we're going to be talking about. Some of the things that you may have missed within the classical kingdoms trailer. So the first thing we're going to talk about here is this Gummy Shop. Now, a lot of people are starting to catch on to this Gummy Shop, so this may be something that you already know about, but I want to talk about it more in depth than just obviously saying, oh look, this is there. So we know that back in Kingdom Hearts 1, when you found gummies, obviously you only were able to use one gummy at a time. So if you wanted to build a ship, let's say the ultimate ship in your personal opinion, then obviously you had to sacrifice using that gummy for another ship unless you wanted to destroy the ship that you had. And I feel like the way this shop is going to work is that once you obtain a piece or a gummy piece, then obviously you can come here and get more of those gummies. So once you obtain a piece, then obviously you can just come to the shop, get more gummies, and you don't have to take apart any of your ships. Let's say if you want to do one that's based on one of the little blueprints that you kind of have for the gummy ship, you don't have to take away a piece from another gummy ship just so that way you can build the one that's actually within the blueprint. And I'm guessing that that's why this is here now. Another thing too, and I said that of course this stuff may play into the story, is that apparently if there's a whole shop here and we know that there's NPCs that are going to be going around and stuff now, then does that mean that they also know now about the gummy ship? Do they know about gummy ships? And potentially we know that of course the lanes in between worlds are closed to non-Keyblade wielders, so potentially they may not use them to fly to different worlds. However, they may use them to fly to different places on their own individual worlds. I'm guessing that that's how that is going to work. So that's all I have to say about this Gummy Shop until more official information gets revealed on it. Let's go ahead and move along. So there's a new Twilight Town. With what we saw, it's actually the area that you can kind of visit within Kingdom Hearts 2 as well. However, there's some new things here. The structure of everything seems completely different, and that may have to do with them now having more power within the PlayStation 4 than they've ever had on any system that Kingdom Hearts has been on prior. So with the PlayStation 4, they're now able to kind of show off and convey to us exactly what this world is and how these people live, or their culture here. And it seems like the new Twilight Town is actually based on France. If you look in the background, you can see a building with this sign on it that says Le Grand Bistral, and of course the building structure looks absolutely based on structures from the other side of the pond, which is kind of a slang for saying England. So obviously if you think about it, that kind of makes sense, as when you thought about the tower, it kind of had that same kind of structure as something that you would see from over there in like France or something like that. So obviously now we know that potentially Twilight Town has always been based on France. Which, if I'm not mistaken, I think Tessie... No, he probably didn't. Let me not put words in that man's mouth. I was finna say that I think that he did state that France and stuff like that is one of his like favorite places to go when he travels, but I don't want to put words in that man's mouth. I don't. Also here, we have Hayner, Pence, and Olette. They are back and they have new designs, and they give Sora whatever the heck these classic kingdoms are, or whatever the heck this new device is that he's holding. So at first people thought it was a cell phone, but seeing it now, we know that obviously it's going to be this little mini game thing, and although it is a mini game thing, it potentially could have other functions as well. Someone pointed out on Twitter, and I'm hoping that I can find it again because I do believe that I retweeted it. Somebody pointed out on Twitter, although that the classic kingdoms will be those LCD screens, when Sora isn't playing a classic kingdom, it actually is in full color. So with how detailed Kingdom Hearts 3 is, for the cutscene to have it in full color, that may mean that it may have other functions, and these other functions could obviously be a camera mode, which they obviously did a lot for with Final Fantasy 15. So this thing that houses the classic kingdoms, once you find them, hopefully is going to be a device that goes a hell of a lot further than just the classic kingdoms and lead to new possibilities within the series, such as a picture mode and stuff like that, because I feel like it makes perfect sense. Within Final Fantasy 15, there was the whole group type of aspect to the story, and that made them actually take a lot of pictures and stuff together, even if you weren't trying to take a picture together. Of course, Prompto, he would take pictures for you. And obviously we know that Sora, Donald, and Goofy, they are like best friends, and obviously Sora taking a picture of Donald and Goofy randomly, and of course you don't even get to see when he does it. Obviously I can see the same thing happening here. The next thing I want to talk about is actually within one of the games, and although I'm going to be saving analyzing the actual gameplay from the games for another video, the one I'm going to be talking about here is the Carnival Kid one. And the reason why I have to talk about this is because we know that obviously Kingdom Hearts Union Cross, or X-Trace, that's what it's going to be called by the time we get the ability to play some of these games early on the mobile game. If that's going to be the case, the Carnival Kid game actually features characters from the Birth by Sleep world, Disney Town. So maybe that's the world that will be added to Union Cross and also be within Kingdom Hearts 3, which it was confirmed that we'd get to play some of these LCD games. And with that being the case, potentially that is where we will have to go to play said games. When you think about it, it kind of makes sense. In Birth by Sleep, that world was completely riddled with fucking mini games. Completely riddled with them. There was the racing, there was the little pinball machine game that you could kind of play. I'm guessing it's kind of pinball. Yeah, it was pinball. The little pinball machine that you could play, of course, to where the character kind of goes onto that little thing, and once you go into the sewers, there's that thing and stuff, and you have to turn on the electricity, and then you can actually go and kind of play pinball with your character, although it wasn't too elaborate. Probably due to the fact that it was on Birth by Sleep and they wanted to give us a more interesting form of platforming within it. Obviously that was one of the many games. There was the fruit volleyball, there was the ice cream game, and those are the four that I actually remember right now, but there could have been more, but those are the four that I remember right now. So it absolutely makes sense that the way that we would be playing mini games within Kingdom Hearts Union Cross would be to actually visit the mini game world from an already established Birth by Sleep game, or an already established Kingdom Hearts world, which was Disney Town. So I think that that's actually going to be the world that will be added, and once they add it, of course, obviously we'll be able to play some of these mini games depending on potentially how far you are. Now, another thing that also pinpoints to this is that they stated that they don't know when they're going to obviously allow us to play these games yet, so they couldn't say when, and they also don't know when they're going to drop this new world. So right there, they're kind of stating the same thing for the two bits of information that we got. The new world, they don't know when they're going to drop it, and obviously the LCD games, they don't know when we'll be able to play them, so when they'll release them. So if they're stating that back to back, that kind of sounds exactly the same for those two aspects that are going to, for those two new things that are going to be coming to Kingdom Hearts Union Cross. But let me know how you guys feel about that, and let me know about everything that I kind of brought up to you guys today. Do you think that obviously there will be a more fleshed out version of course, Gummy Ship building? Do you think that the mini games, the Kingdom Classics, will actually be played in Union Cross at Disney Town? Just let me know. This has been your boy Mazia. Don't forget to do a little A-Class gaming, and everything you do, don't forget to keep it A-Class. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video, and peace the heck out.